What's going on, guys? Brandon here from Keller Williams, bringing you another video on all things real estate. And today we're going to be talking about how much money you actually need to buy a home. Stay tuned. Alright, so you're looking for a new home, but you don't know how much money you need to save up. Well, there are 4 upfront costs that you need to plan for when you start your home search. Those are going to be your down payment, your earnest money, your appraisal, inspection, and closing costs. Now, I know you're probably looking at me like, well, he just said 4, but he named 5. I'll explain that in a minute, but for now, let's talk about down payments. So your down payment is going to be the biggest majority of the costs associated with buying a home, and it's going to be largely determined by the kind of loan you have. So, for instance, FHA loans right now, the minimum down payment requirement is 3.5% of the purchase price. So, for instance, if you're going to buy a $200,000 home, 3.5% of that is Alexa, what's 200,000 times 0.035?
200,000 times 0.035 is 7,000.
$7,000. All right, so this is the part that I said I was going to explain a little bit more later. Earnest money. And basically what earnest money is, it's typically 1% of the purchase price, and it's kind of just like a good faith payment that you put down just to show the seller that you're serious about the offer. It does go towards your down payment, so it technically isn't a separate payment that you have to pay on top of your down payment. But the reason why I listed these things separately is just because of the timing. So as far as earnest money goes, you pay that at the time the offer is accepted, whereas you don't pay your down payment until at closing. But again, your earnest money does go towards your down payment, so it's not something extra on top of that that you have to worry about. All right, so your offer has been accepted. You put your earnest money down. Next is the home inspection. Now, obviously, you want to get your home inspected just because you want to make sure that everything is in working order before you buy it, right? So, home inspection can cost anywhere from $350 on the low end to upwards of $600. Really depends on how big the home is, depends on what kind of services you add on to the inspection. So, stuff like radon test or mold test, things like that. But I can tell you right now, as a buyer, the home inspection is probably the most important thing that you spend money on. So do not skimp on the home inspection. After the home inspection comes the appraisal, where a certified appraiser will come out, take a look at the home, compare it to similar homes in the neighborhood, and make sure that it's actually worth what you're paying for it. Now, you can see why that's important, right? An appraiser can cost anywhere from $500 to $700 on average, but can be more or less. So that's just a cost that you want to keep in the back of your mind and be prepared for. And last but not least, we have closing costs. So with closing costs, there's a bunch of different fees and charges built into that, such as like title search fees, loan origination fees, administrative fees, and things like that. So all of those are paid at closing. Your lender will give you a closing disclosure, which will clearly state every single charge that you're being charged with and how much that is, just so you you actually know why you're paying something. As far as the cost for closing costs, there really isn't a definite method to figure out how much your closing costs are going to be. So a general rule of thumb that we use is just take your purchase price times 3%, and that's kind of, it'll get you in the ballpark of what your closing costs may be. Again, that's not completely accurate, but if you want an idea of how much you can plan for, that's a good indicator. That is it for the video. I'm hoping you guys found this useful. If you did, make sure to hit the like button below. If you didn't, make sure to hit the like button below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, especially if you like all things real estate and you're looking to learn more about different real estate topics. I'll post videos every single Wednesday, aka Hump Day. And again, this is Brandonarchie. I'll see you guys next week. Watch this. Alexa, who's the #1 agent in Minnesota?
Sorry, I don't know that one.